Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Beautiful. It's working. I had to add the game overlay underneath everything else.
Ah.
Do I still have that other page up? Yes, I do. All right, cool. Go to the screen share. Change the settings. That. We watch later. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to go ahead and launch into this part, right?
Okay.
But you cannot have any ammunition in your rifle.
I don't think I have my fucking stream audio going through or the sharing option for audio. Oh, yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Hmm. Now, so, alright. Now, in this video, it's the police confronting somebody on having a loaded AR-15. And I'm just gonna say this right off the rip, this cop is entirely in the right to be reprimanding this person for carrying a loaded AR-15 in
But where?
public.
But where?
Definitely not here in Texas. I don't.
Because like that
I mean, it
really.
is in Tennessee, but this is in a very city area.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Just a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send you the video of it, right, so that you'll be able to actually see what I'm talking about. Or you can just hop over to my live stream, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
Which will be a fun way to see how fucking um far behind my stream is from there. I also want you to tell me if you can actually hear my voice coming through, or if I gotta, or the video, or whatever, because I've got my computer muted so it doesn't echo, but that creates problems sometimes.
Okay, so uh yeah, Tennessee has open carry for handguns only.
Right.
So individuals must be 18 or older to carry openly or concealed without a permit. There's no permit required for eligible residents and visitors to open carry without obtaining any kind of stuff. But long guns, rifles, and shotguns generally can't be openly carried in public unless they are unloaded and the ammunition is not in close proximity. So yeah,
Right.
so yeah,
So,
so like it,
like I was saying
but
from the start, like this cop is entirely in the right for having done this.
yeah,
But
but
this
like
is
it,
what these dumbasses that knows surface level information about the Constitution, and they think that the right to bear arms means that they can walk around with a 50 cal BMG with fucking rounds in the chamber.
in a lot of places you can. Like that's just like in Texas, you can open carry anytime you want, any place you want, and if they try to stop
Right.
you, it's against the law. and that's the
Right.
same in a lot of states. So like
Now,
it's
here's the thing,
highly
though.
dependent.
Here's the thing, though, is you can have the bullets on you. You can have them in the magazine. You can even have the magazine in the gun, but you cannot have a round chambered.
You
That's the
absolutely
problem
can.
here in this video.
Well, I mean, in Texas and all that good stuff, you can. In Tennessee, you're not allowed to have the ammo anywhere near the gun.
Right.
You're
Okay,
not allowed to
so
have
go ahead
ammo
and
on your
pop up my
person.
live stream. Go ahead and pop up my live stream so you can see it.
But yeah, in places where you can open carry long guns, you can have it loaded. You can have it ready to go. That is.
Right.
And like it's all about knowing your local laws.
Right. Which a lot of people think that the Constitution is a free pass to do whatever the fuck they want
I mean, in most
without doing
cases, it
research
is.
into the local laws.
It's like in most cases, it is. Like
Right.
I
Okay, so I'm gonna
personally,
go ahead.
hold on, just like personally, I believe that you should be able to open carry whatever the fuck you want, wherever the fuck you want, anytime you want. It uh, it should actually be required that every single uh, American who is not a felon or has a criminal history should be required to carry a handgun on them at all times and be trained in how to use it.
You know what? Of that, I agree with you entirely.
Because just imagine if every single person who was of age and didn't have a criminal history and was at least took like a 6 week class. Like you have to take one 6 week class, whether they give it in high school or whatever, on properly handling firearms. If they were all carrying a handgun at all times while in public, there would be no more shootings. Like no one
Mm-hmm.
is going to go to a fucking event to shoot up an event when they know that every single person there has a gun and knows how to use it. No one's
Right.
going to be
Like
that
back in the
stupid.
50s, they used to do active rifle and handgun training in schools.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things. Like people are doing these shootings at places where you're not allowed to have guns. So when you have a place where no one is allowed to have guns, you're just creating a kill box for crazy people to go and kill people in. So the way we handle things in this country creates the problem of shootings.
Agreed.
Okay, you
Hold
can
up. I
you
gotta
can
go into
continue.
my game settings and mute all the sound because it's kind of bleeding through into the. Yeah, audio. Master volume is off. Okay, cool. Yeah, alright, so I gotta finish changing the fucking tags and whatnot. Whatever. That's done. I changed the name to the short stream over the American Second Amendment.
But yeah, like a lot of the people who are going around open carrying guns, they're going out and open carrying as a type of protest. They're like people go out and do Second Amendment audits. So they'll
Right.
go out and they'll know the laws. They know they're allowed to open carry. They know how to do it properly. And they will go around just to see if cops stop them and try to tell them they can't.
Right, which is absolute bullshit. Because, like, you're intentionally making that cop's job harder. Because one of the
It's the
things they're
cop's fault.
trained to do.
It's the cop's fault. They're not allowed to suspect people just for carrying a gun. You can't do that
You're
in
absolutely
places
correct.
that are fucking uh, open carry. They
Right,
have to see you doing something wrong with the gun.
right. Now,
So like if you're just open carrying a gun and a cop comes up and treats you like a criminal immediately right off the bat just because you're carrying a gun in a place where you are legally allowed to carry a gun, that's a problem.
agreed. Um, now the thing that is surprising to me is that a lot of the times, the cops will actually act on it. They can keep their eye on that person legally. Like, they're allowed to do that. But they're
Yeah,
not allowed to, like, treat you like a criminal, just like you just said.
yeah, and like a lot of times you'll see cops come up and just be like, "Hey man, what's going on? You know, hey,
Right.
uh, everything good? Everything
Now,
all right?" Like that's
for,
perfectly fine. Cops can approach you and just be like, "Hey, what's going on? What's up?" You know, like, but a lot of these auditors and stuff who are doing this stuff are, yeah, they do have this kind of confrontational thing about them because they go out there as a form of protest.
they're
And
trying to create a problem.
well, they're not really trying to create a problem. They get confrontational when the cops come up to them and they have this thing. They're like, "Why are you trying to stop me? There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. You can't just fucking come up to me and start harassing me just because I'm carrying a gun." Like that's a kind of a dicky thing to do. 'Cause, like, if the cop's
Right.
just coming up to you to say, "Hey, what's going on? Everything cool? Like, just open carrying, you know?" Like shit like that.
Right.
Just trying to figure out like, are you open carrying or are you carrying that gun somewhere to do something you're not supposed to do? Like
Right.
they can come up and just like ask you a question. There's no law against cops coming up and asking you, you know, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? They can
So,
interact with the public.
right. Okay, so here's what the description of the video says, right? It's actually dumb as fuck. So it says, what begins as a routine police encounter in Tennessee quickly turns into a powerful constitutional moment when officers confront a citizen openly carrying a loaded AR-15 in public. Captured entirely on camera, the interaction rapidly shifts from basic questions to direct discussion about Second Amendment rights and the limits of police authority. Now, there's more to the description, but I'm not gonna read all of that shit. That's too fucking much to
Well,
give a shit about.
give me a second. Let me
Um,
read it. Hover back over it. Let me read it real quick.
all right. I'll go ahead and read it out. During the encounter, officers question the legality of the loaded rifle, while the citizen repeatedly asks for one simple thing: show the actual law that restricts the right. As the conversation continues, the focus moves beyond a simple street interaction into a broader debate about what the Constitution actually protects. The central issue becomes clear. Does the Second Amendment protect the right to openly carry a loaded rifle, or can that right be limited by assumptions, interpretations, or internal policies without a clear legal basis? This footage captures a real world moment where constitutional rights and law enforcement authority meet face to face. More importantly, it raises an important question for viewers everywhere. Do you truly understand your rights when confronted by police in public? Now, like you said, okay, well, we'll do this. Go ahead and repeat what you said about the Tennessee law on open carry.
In Tennessee, you can open carry or concealed carry a handgun from the age of 18 and up. You can do that anywhere in Tennessee, all you like. But it said that long guns you can only open carry if they are not loaded and there is no ammo for them on your person or readily available.
Okay.
So that would
And now,
also
just for the viewers, what qualifies as a quote unquote long gun?
long guns are rifles, shotguns, anything that has a long barrel.
So longer than what? 6 inches?
It's there. It's a little more complicated than that because
Okay.
so long gun is a general broad spectrum term, and so like an AR-15 with no stock and a 4-inch barrel is still a long gun.
So basically, it's a broad spectrum term, referencing anything that isn't a handgun.
Yeah, anything that isn't explicitly a handgun. And there's lots of guns that blur the lines between handgun and rifle, and it's kind of a muddy water situation. So the the term long gun is just kind of gray area kind of thing. Well, like long gun and fucking handgun are both a gray area thing. But
Right.
it's kind of one of those reasonable assumption things. Like if it's a fucking AR-15 with a short barrel, it's generally considered a fucking long gun. And those types of guns, you also have to get special permits just to own them because they're considered SBRs. And SBRs, you have to go through this whole fucking thing to have an SBR. But yeah,
And what is
anyways,
an SBR?
SBR, short-barreled rifle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like if your barrel is under 16 inches long, it's considered a short-barreled rifle. And short-barreled rifles are controlled, so you have to get a tax stamp and do a whole bunch of paperwork and all that good shit to own one.
Okay, so there's like a whole song and dance to it. It's not just like you can just go to a fucking store and buy one straight out.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. To own a short-barreled rifle, you basically have to go through the same loops that you'd have to go through to buy a machine gun.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump straight into this video and see what this is all about.
But you cannot have any ammunition in your rifles.
Okay.
You have ammunition on rifles? We have ammunition on rifles.
Let me
Is
ask
it
you
playing
something.
audio on your end?
Does the Second Amendment protect the right to carry an unloaded gun? Does the Second Amendment trump what your sergeant says?
Right. You have the right to bear arms, right? Your handgun, whatnot.
The right to bear arms
Correct.
unloaded? Are you kidding?
Do you have ID on you?
Not today.
Do you have ID on you?
Not today.
You don't have ID on you.
I'm saying leave us alone, please. Our rights are not negotiable. You took an oath, and we expect you to uphold it. As long as they're unloaded.
With your handguns, they are allowed to be loaded, but with long
Do you think the
guns,
Second Amendment applies to pistols only?
with long guns in the state of Tennessee, they are not allowed. Lawful to carry, lawful to have it, you just cannot have it loaded.
The Second Amendment, which you swore an oath to protect and uphold, trumps Tennessee law. A law that is repugnant to the Constitution is null and void. The Supreme Court has ruled on it. We don't even need the Supreme Court. We all know what the Second Amendment means. You know what it means. It doesn't mean unloaded guns. It doesn't mean pistols. The purpose of the Second Amendment is to be able to fight for your freedom in case the government goes bad. you guys of the government don't go bad. Okay?
I'm not.
Okay, sorry, that's the total shit post that just popped up. Now here's the thing, right? Just like they said, you're allowed to have it. You're just not allowed to have it loaded.
Yeah.
Okay. Cover your mic or something for a second.
Yeah.
Fucking painful.
Yeah, what?
It was doing a feedback loop.
Because the audio is coming through mine?
Yep.
Yep.
But I mean, it stopped now. So that
Okay.
it would stop.
Yeah, I was just I was brushing up on the constitutional carry laws.
Right. So I mean, like I said, fucking you can carry the gun. You just cannot have the rifle ammo on you in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
The right to bear arms. What a lot of people fuck up is that the right to bear arms is pertains to the necessity to wield it, not that you can just go out and fucking walk up to the fucking White House with a fucking AR-15 that's loaded.
Uh
No, that's
so
not what that
so
fucking means.
so you're mistaken. You're mistaken.
Okay, so
Uh
then enlighten me.
so the Constitution is written in a way where nothing is up to interpretation. There is absolutely no interpretation to be done with the Constitution. That's point and final. So read the Constitution and what it says, and that is what it means. You don't get to interpret what it means. It is what it says. So the Constitution says the right to bear arms. Bear means to own, to have, to hold, to carry.
Right, but it
Period.
does not
You can
dictate
no
the right
no
to bear ammunition.
no you no arms means guns, ammunitions, cannons, artillery, knives, anything that can be used as a weapon. So
Okay.
it it,
So
it,
hold
it
on. Let me go
pertains
ahead and pull up the
to
actual constitutional law
yeah, go ahead.
of the Second Amendment. Now we are gonna have to get
Like
back into this later.
you so like what I'm saying is, you cannot take something away from that. So if it says you have the right to bear arms, that means you cannot say, "Oh well, you can't have the ammunition." That's not how that works. That's still disarming the public. You can't do that. That would be interpreting the Constitution. You're not allowed to interpret the Constitution. It is what it says. If it says you have the right to bear arms, that means you have the right to bear arms. Period.
Okay, so let me go ahead and screen share this to the stream.
Like people make that thing that says, "Oh, it says you have the right to bear arms, but that doesn't mean you have the right to have military weapons. You don't have the right to have AR-15s." Like you can't take things out of it just because it doesn't mention things specifically, because it has the blanket term arms.
Okay, so all right, so what the actual um constitutional amendment is: a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
now the thing that fucks me off is, given what you just said about interpretation, the second thing listed here is interpretation. In 2008, the Supreme Court ruled that the District of Columbia versus Heller, that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm unconnected to service in a militia, particularly for lawful purposes such as self-defense within the home.
Yes.
Okay, so actually, I spoke before reading it. Yes, that's true. That's good. That's
And
all well and fine.
and
But
people like to bring up the thing about the well-regulated militia. And they
the term militia in and of itself is a military of the people.
yeah, it means the people of the country. So a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the state, of a free state, that means that in order to have a well-regulated militia, we need the right to bear arms. And well-regulated militia meaning all of the people of the state. And well-regulated militia meaning that people are able to get ready to do things to protect themselves or the state or the country.
Very quickly.
So they're able to, like, they have the ability to do things uh quickly.
Right.
Okay. So like it what I meant by you're not allowed to interpret the Constitution means you're not allowed to, like, exclude things or include things that it isn't saying. Like taking away ammunition from the guns. Oh, you're allowed to have guns, but you're not allowed to have ammunition. When the Constitution was written, people only had hunting rifles and like shotguns, so you're not allowed to have AR-15s. Because that's not what the Constitution was talking about. Like shit like that, you're not allowed to do that. The interpretation of the Constitution is exactly what it says. Like, sure, you have to interpret it because it's written in kind of you know, an old style, but what it
Right.
says
Yeah,
is
the
what it
vernacular
means.
is changed.
What it says is what it means. In order to have a state that is able to protect itself, you need the right for everyone to bear arms, to have weapons. Weapons meaning any weapons.
Right. Now, this doesn't dictate that you have to carry a weapon. That you just have,
You have the
basically, for lack
right
of a better
to.
term, you have permission from the government to have whatever arm you need.
No, that is a
You
horrible.
need.
No. That is a horrible way to word it. The
Okay, so give me a better
Constitution.
way.
The Constitution is not given by the government. Your constitutional rights are given by quote unquote God. You are born with them. It's not permission from the government. It is protection against the government. That's why they want to change it. The
Okay.
Constitution is in direct conflict with the government. The Constitution is your protections against the government. So the reason the Constitution was written was to ensure that government cannot become tyrannical.
Right.
So no, it's not permission from the government to have guns. It's permission from you being alive to have guns.
See, that shows how manipulated college courses have become. Because when I was when I was going to college for criminal justice to try to be a cop, right? Um, one of the things that they said is literally that the Constitution is provided us by the government to ensure our protection from other people.
No, no. If you want to go and read the beginning of the Constitution, it's explained right there. It explains. I can't remember what it exactly says, but it explains uh, what the Constitution is for.
Okay. See, like that shows right there that I really need to go back and reread it because I haven't read it since fucking uh high school,
Yeah. So
and
like
it's now been fucking 10 years since. No shit, it's been 14 years since I graduated school.
yeah. So if you just look at the contents of the Constitution, First Amendment is the freedom of speech. The Second Amendment is the freedom of firearms or weapons. And the Third Amendment is, I think, protections for the media,
No,
I
that's
believe.
in the First Amendment. Um,
What was the Third Amendment?
I don't really remember, but we are going to have to pick this up later. I have to get to that Social Security appointment,
Okie dokie.
but when I
But
get back, we will definitely pick this up again.
yeah, anyways, like from what I can see right there is Home Dude is protesting their laws to keep ammo out of the guns, which makes perfect sense. They shouldn't be telling people that they can't have ammo in their guns when they open carry. They shouldn't be telling people they can't open carry at all. The Supreme Court uh, uh, ruled constitutional carry laws. The constitutional carry laws that means every United States citizen has the right to carry firearms on their person openly or concealed no matter what because it is a constitutional right. And then the states decided, we don't really like that, so we're going to change the Constitution for us because we have the right to make our own laws that are take precedence over the federal laws. So we're just gonna, interpret shit how we want, which you shouldn't be able to do. Like the Supreme Court said, everyone can carry guns no matter what. So when the states say, well, we don't want you carrying ammo in your guns, so you're not allowed to have ammo in them. It defeats the purpose. It's invasive, and it's a fucking infringement on your rights. So I kind of get him. He's protesting.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and end stream on that note. And we will pick this up later.